Hey, my travelers. I hope you're having a good time. I am, as always. I wanted to make a video today. I haven't made one in a while. I want to keep this shit updated, but I mean, with the audio that I got now, I'm kind of like not shy, but I want to deliver a good product. I did some videos. I don't like the echo um, in the sound, so I kind of picked this room which I think is a bit less echo, so that I could talk about what I want to talk about. Okay, let's talk about like the solar system as a whole, okay? Because I wanted to make like a few videos, like a specific video, let's say for the sun, and then I would do like the sun in this, that, and third. Or Mercury and what it's about, and then Mercury in the signs, But I figured it would be a good idea at first to share how I view the zodiac as a whole. And sometimes people are like, oh, I feel more like my moon than my sun. Well, just the word feeling is very lunar in itself, but you're not more your sun than your moon. Even like if you got all those things aspected to your moon, you're all of those things. It's just you play them out in different ways, like you're a package of all those things together. You're not more one than the other, all right? They're just different facets of yourself, and at different points, you're gonna feel in different ways. I like to see the solar system, solar system, as a representation of our own human or soul system, Um, just like the sun is the center of the solar system in Western astrology, the sun is the center of our experience. So you got a lot of people thinking, like people who don't know much about astrology, they think their sun sign, like, oh, I'm a Scorpio, oh, I'm a Pisces, oh, I'm this or that. And then you look in the newspaper and they try to get their horoscopes. Um, while you are your sun sign in a way, the sun being the center of the solar system, it's just what we notice most. The sun is that through which the other energies are playing out. It's the yang or masculine energy. The moon is kind of like the yin or feminine counterpart. So as the sun emits rays, um, when you say like, for instance, I'm a Pisces. If I'm talking about my sun, I'm talking about how I naturally emit my energy, but how I feel the cause of the effect, and the effect being the sun. The cause is the moon. The moon is the receptacle. It is that on which the rays are shining, other people's rays, even your own rays. Um, So as you got this moon, it's propelling you to like feel a certain way about things before you even process with your Mercury so that you can relate um, by communicating to others. Like before you even get to like sort out your ideas so that it makes sense for other people to like grab your mercurial baggage and like process it through their own Mercury and moon. You're feeling first of all through your moon. Um, the moon kind of represents the subconscious. Some people would say that the moon is the personality. I feel that's a bit large because your personality is pretty much like everything mixed up together from my point of view. Um, the soul is more like your consciousness. It's like that through which stuff is filtered before you start processing it with your Mercury. It's kind of like the for us to notice the moon, a light has to be shone on it. Um, so that's the moon. It's kind of like what first, like what our buttons are, if you want. That's the moon. That's how we feel. That's how we're emotional. It's why they say that the sign of Cancer, represented by the moon, is emotional. Because it's that's the moon for you. So let's just see the solar system as a whole, starting from the sun. The sun is like the creation, if you want, and this is all my own view of it. The sun is like the light that sprung from the darkness. It's like the first thing that kind of pops out in our experience. We're made alive. We're now a star of our own. We're the star of our solar system. Once you've created your identity, your shine, and you know how you're going to play out naturally your energies because your physical self has been created and infused with the fiery solar energy. Now you're going to the first planet after the sun that we know of, which is Mercury. Mercury is the mind. You know, if you're seeing this like as the development of a baby, at first the baby's gonna come out, he's gonna realize like, oh, what the fuck am I in? Like, what is this space? You know, the sun is born in a way, and then the baby learns like, okay, like this is like a comp, this is like a lighter, this is a doobie, this is someone lighting a doobie. So just after the sun, you got Mercury, which helps you relate and communicate what it is you got. You want to express, you know, like you're first learning how to talk, how to be understood in this world. Even just crying to get some food is mercurial. Um, After Mercury, you got Venus. So you know what's what now. You know what you love. You know what you relate to. Um, you want some milk, perhaps. You want this. You want that. This is Venus coming in after Mercury. Once you know that you want something, you kind of like think about where you're at, right? You're like, okay, like if I first want to go and do something with Mars beforehand, I have to know where I'm at, and this is the Earth. Once you know where you're at, you've understood your own kingdom, you know your wants, you know how to relate, of course, and you know who you are. Now it's time to go and get things. Now this is the job of Mars. Mars is a yang energy also, you know, it likes to go from point A to point B. The sun kind of tells Mars like, okay, like I want to follow that path, could you please like go and grab me this? Like Venus taught me that I would enjoy that. Mars is gonna feel passionate about that. He's gonna be like, oh, like of course I'm gonna go there. And at the same time, when you're going for what you want, you might meet adversity, right? And this is the war aspect of Mars, the anger aspect of Mars. Or perhaps you want people to understand you. You want people to value what you value yourself in Venus. So you use your Mars. Once you've kind of understood like the Martian aspect of things and you know how to get from point A to point B, you kind of need an optimism. You need to believe in yourself. And this is where Jupiter comes from. Or maybe it doesn't come from there, but like I'm just trying to like, you know, so Jupiter brings faith in a way. It brings optimism. It brings luck. It's it's kind of like also like it's like with Jupiter you can sense uh, Jupiter is an air planet. It's made out of gas also, right? So you can sense like what's coming in a way. So yes, Jupiter is luck, but it's also intuition and it's a set of belief systems. And optimism. After that said optimism and like belief system, like you believe things are a certain way because like it's just how you see the broader picture of things, you go into Saturn. Now Saturn is the last planet that we see um, with our bare eye. After that, you're going into Uranus, you need a telescope or an instrument to see it. But Saturn is that planet which only a tiny little bit of sunlight is shone upon. Whatever. So, you know, and Saturn moves slowly. And what does Saturn represent? It represents slowly taking all the steps, you know, so you could get to the top. Saturn is linked to Capricorn, which is linked to the 10th house also, and the 10th house is at the top. So yeah, Saturn teaches you to like take every little step so that you could climb up there. It's kind of like the counteracting force to Jupiter, where Jupiter is like optimistic. Saturn can be a little bit pessimist at times. Pessimistic? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. See, that's Saturn kicking in like, oh shit, you just made a video when you're using words that don't even exist. You're according them to tenses that, whatever. And Saturn being slow like that and predictable, and it takes its time, it also represents old age. Whereas Jupiter kind of represented a new age, if you want, in a way, or like it represents the sun, while Saturn represents the father, at night at least. The father during the day could be the sun. Saturn is the father at night. But mainly I see Saturn as like a patronizing force. It tells you like, hey, you need to get your shit together, like this, that, and that. And the sun is more like, oh, I'll provide for you so that you can grow, you know. Um, so that's Saturn. After Saturn, you're going into the world of Uranus. Now you can't see that. It's something that you feel. It's still revolving around the sun, right? It's still part of our solar system, um, but you can't see it with your bare eye. It is often said that Uranus is an intuition, a lightning strike. I see it as a shift from yin to yang. It's kind of like the cosmic force that balances things out. It's why Aquarius often feel like if you're trying to describe them, they're going to be like, oh no, it's not like that, because they're switching from yin to yang in their perspective, so that they could always move the information forward, right? And so that they could break upon the structures that were there in Saturn. Uh, Uranus kind of moves like whoop, and then it goes retrograde for a while, and whoop, whoop. Like you can't really predict what it's going to do without an actual like mathematical calculations. So yeah, there's this uh, wind of change, this static electricity that changes the structures of Saturn. So you could see like the evolution. Like yes, Saturn is old and advanced, but Uranus, I mean, it's one step further in a sense. But you couldn't have Saturn without Uranus. Um, you could probably argue that you couldn't have any planetary energy without another planetary energy. But my lovely traveler, um, we're going into Neptune. Now, Neptune likes to bring poetry, it likes to bring faith, a little bit like Neptune does, which is probably why both of them rule Pisces, dreamer. Um, but Neptune is more like a blind faith. We can't see Neptune at all with our eye, right? It's way past like Saturn, it's past Uranus, like it's out there. It's like this blind faith. But it's an energy that's there, which I guess could also explain why some people see Neptunian energy as escapism, or it could be like unconditional love, or because it is there but you can't fully grasp it. This is the Neptunian quality. It could also represent drugs, the outer world, what's far beyond our imagination. And once you've kind of had this part of your development and your understanding, understanding it, you got Pluto, which is always creeping in the background. The Pluto moves really slowly, like it takes more than 100 years, perhaps more than 200. No, I don't think so. I think it's like 184. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But Pluto is so far out there. Some people don't even consider it a planet. Some people don't even believe there is like a, hidden forces pushing our physical awareness in different ways. However you call it, like they're kind of are there, like, and unless you're like conscious of every, it's impossible. Everybody has a subconscious in a way, and that which is important to our soul just goes to the front and we see it, but we can't really see Pluto. It's this force always hanging around. It's there and it imposes its own truth. It wants us to um, feel the truth without being blinded by the light of the sun. Whatever it touches, unseemingly, it influences. It brings a certain focus to it because it's an area where Pluto falls, or the Plutonian energy. It kind of highlights things that have to be destroyed so that they can change. And every planet is said to influence the other planet in a way. And just astronomically, it is thought that if Jupiter wasn't there, um, like there's some school of thought. So I don't know if it's actually scientific, but I heard this from a Taoist master. He says if the Jupiter wasn't there, and Jupiter is fucking big. It's multiple times the Earth. The Earth would probably orbit too close to the sun. So the fact that Jupiter is like the Earth is in between Jupiter and the sun, Jupiter kind of brings back the Earth towards it. So we get to like have like water, that isn't boiling because it's too close from the sun. So even then, you could see like the astrological correspondence from just how the planet acts. So this is also what's really cool about astrology. And even if you don't believe in astrology and you're just like, like whatever, I'm just studying it to see like what it's up, what it's all about. If you know the natures of the planets, you're gonna be able to like access different sources of knowledge and different like libraries of consciousness, pools of consciousness. You might even open up a book and be like, oh, okay, like see like a list of plants and their planets, and you can kind of tell what the herb does because you know the nature of the planet and you know how to mix them up together because of it. I'm not telling you to like mix up different things and just like drink your magic potion because you see them in the planet. But it could lead you to like further research, and like it could lead you to you noticing that like mythology and the imagination are linked to science at the same time. And you can learn about one by looking at the other. As above, so below. Yin yang. God created created us in his image, or even the Hindus, they think, I'm not gonna say what they think, but the way I can approach like in Hindu deity, I could see the entity or like the being or the energy as a friend, as a guru, as a father, as a son. It's just an energy that can be appropriated. The divine and the physical are really linked together.